Singing out here. What's up outside, buddy? When we first arrived, it was a normal day. The water wasn't rising over the wall. It was looking pretty good, so we walked across the rocks. Probably about 45 minutes. Made about halfway across, a little past halfway, and I noticed the water started spilling over a little bit, and I was like, all right, so we got, that's like I've been there all summer fishing, and when it happens, it's usually it don't even fully open up and go over, so you got time to walk back. And so we started walking back, and I swear we probably made it almost exactly halfway now. And some of the bigger gaps we actually had to hop across, they were no longer there. The water is coming over so much now that it was kind of like probably 4 foot deep in certain spots right there. And I had to look back to where we were coming from, and it didn't look much better. And there was this little piece of a boat that was left, and I grabbed that, put the dog and Connor on that, and drug them to a higher spot, because where we were at and the way the water looked, it was going to reach where we were. So I just took them on there, had a piece of wire, and drugged them a little bit. But like I said, as they kept going, the water was still keeping rising, so the currents and the deeper spots were just getting stronger and stronger. And I was more concerned if I tried to keep crossing some of these current waves, that it was going to take them out of my hands, or worse, he can get wet. And I was already soaking wet. So I found it was a good high spot of a log in the tree. And we climbed up and sat up on it, and I really didn't know what to do at the time other than to stay there, because trying to carry them through the current wasn't going to be an option. Carrying the boat wasn't an option, and it was more of my motivation to cross the water. But it was more of his idea, his first idea. He came with the next best. My idea wasn't going to happen. I mean, stand there, somebody was going to die. Somebody was either going to die, frostbite, hypothermia or something. But he came up with the next best plan. He's like, just take the dog and come back and get me. I was like, no, I'm not going to take the dog and leave you here. I said, I tell you what, if I'll leave him and you here. Like, if you think you can stay here on this log, I sat down and went through the whole coaching thing. I was like, you guys stay on this log. I'm gonna tie the dog right to the tree beside you. You guys stay up here, and no matter what, don't touch this water. I said, if the dog falls off, you're gonna have to let him go. I said, because if you go try to get the dog, he's gonna take you with him. And I said, you can't do that. And so he did what he was supposed to do. He sat there, and I jumped in the water, and somehow, sometime later, I finally made it to the other side, and I made my way up to the highway and flagged somebody down. And they finally, like 4 or 5 people went by, which I can't say I wouldn't have done the same thing. You got a half-naked guy, purple and red, waving at you. But I got some people to stop, and I was able to walk down about middle ways of the bridge, and it turned out that it was exactly where he was at, from my point of view, straight across, over the dam, and into the water. And I could see where it was at. I could see movement, and I could hear a little faint yell, but nobody else knew exactly where to look. So I wanted to hang around as long as I could. That way I could assure they know where to look. And the guy started telling me I'm going into a hypothermic shock and all this. He needed to get me to the hospital because I was panting, couldn't breathe, couldn't feel my body. And so they took me, and that's probably when it hit for the worst. I felt comfortable once I seen him that everything's gonna be okay. But when they took me, that's when the worry set in. The shock was starting to set in, and then they kept asking me at the emergency room, where was y'all at? Where was y'all at? I'm like, you're not gonna find him. I said, he's in the water. They're looking on the banks and stuff, and I'm like, we're out in the water, people. Like, I'm here for a reason. And I'd already made up my mind. As soon as I get some clothes, I'm getting out of here. I said, because I'm the only one who knows where he's at, and it's getting dark. But it turned out, leaving the dog with him, he's actually inside. I got him an orange reflective collar, and that turned out to be the thing that saved him. They hit him with a spotlight. Apparently one of the guys, when I first showed up, he remembered me recalling, or called me saying about where he was located, and they shined the spotlight out there and seen reflection. They hooked the heat thermals, and they seen something out there, and they went out there, and that's where he was, still sitting there on that log waiting, with the dog and all.
What was it like being on that log?
Not fine.
Were you scared?
Yeah. I was cold, I was freezing, my hands were frozen, I couldn't put them all the way up and my head started itching. My daddy went swimming in the water. I saw him on some little bit of water and put him that way, and he went the wrong way. He went that way, then turned around, went up that tall hill. And so he went the other way on that tall bridge, and he called for some help, and then I saw tattoo on his back, and I saw him on an amulet, and I said, what the freak? If them contacts not getting to jail? As I saw some blue whites there, some of them, and then they kept coming more and more and more and more and more, and they put me white jacket on to pull me up that wall. And they took me in a boat and a helicopter and a ambulance and a truck.